Question 5, Ms. Michelle Tang. Thank you. In this direct investigation operation report on the government's work on landslide prevention and mitigation and management of government slopes published in January this year, the Office of the Ombudsman put forward a series of recommendations and indicated that in the second stage of the investigation, it would examine the government's determination of slope maintenance responsibility and risk management of private slopes. In this connection, will the government inform this council 1. Of the follow-up work undertaken by the government in response to the recommendations set out in the aforesaid report, given that in the reply to a question raised by a member of this council on the estimates of expenditure for the financial year 2026-27, the government said it would enhance the landslip prevention and mitigation program. Whether the measures under the program will include the application of latest technologies such as AI and data management to strengthen slope safety management, if so, of the details, if not the reasons for that. 2. As it's learned that disputes frequently arise over maintenance responsibility for private man-made slopes, and that ordinary owners or small property management companies may not possess the professional knowledge or experience to properly manage and maintain such slopes. Whether the government has specific measures in place to assist owners in clarifying and fulfilling the maintenance responsibility. And 3. Whether the relevant government departments will strengthen their collaboration to enhance the risk management and monitoring of private slopes. If so, of the details, if not the reasons for that. Secretary for Development. President, the Development Bureau and its subordinate departments have been enhancing slope safety. In January this year, the Office of the Ombudsman released the report on the direct investigation into the government's work on landslide prevention and mitigation and management of government slopes, which recognized the work of the relevant government departments. The current landslide risk in Hong Kong has been substantially lowered compared with the early years. My respective replies to the various parts of Ms. Tang's question are as follows. Part 1. The Office recommended that the government continue to optimize risk assessment and safety management for man-made slopes and natural hillsides, and strengthen cross-departmental data sharing and technology application to address landslide risks brought by extreme weather. The CEDD, Civil Engineering and Development Department, has formulated multiple measures in response to the Office's recommendations to strengthen Hong Kong's capability in responding to landslide risks and enhance slope safety. The CEDD will continue to implement the landslip prevention and mitigation program. Starting from 2025, the CEDD has been progressively increasing the annual target output of the program. Under the risk-based approach, priority is given to the risk management of man-made slopes located adjacent to sole vehicular access roads, which could have relatively high potential impacts on the daily lives of citizens. The CEDD is rolling out the Smart Slope Catalog this year, expanding the database to cover natural hillsides that may affect existing facilities and to integrate mitigation works records, maintenance records, rainfall data, landslide history, etc. The catalog utilizes AI and big data analytics to enhance management and monitoring efficiency. For example, the CEDD will commission the AI landslip warning system this year, which integrates Hong Kong's rainfall data and information in the Smart Slope Catalog and applies AI analytics to further enhance the capability for landslide risk assessment. The CEDD will continue to closely monitor technological advancements and develop and introduce innovative technologies. This includes using a drone management system for slope monitoring and emergency management to strengthen data collection and analytics capabilities. Part 2 of the question. Like private properties, owners are responsible for the maintenance and repair of private man-made slopes. In Hong Kong, there are about 16,000 private man-made slopes and over 6,000 man-made slopes with mixed responsibilities where the government and private owners are responsible for different parts of the slopes. The maintenance responsibilities for most of these slopes are clearly stipulated in the land lease for the private properties. As the designated department for determining maintenance responsibilities of private man-made slopes, the Lands Department has uploaded the determination results to the Slope Maintenance Responsibility Information System to facilitate public inspection. The Lands Department plans to issue notices in batches starting from the second quarter this year to inform owners of the determination results proactively, ensuring that they are aware of their maintenance responsibilities. The Development Bureau will provide technical and financial support in several areas to assist owners in fulfilling their maintenance responsibilities. First, they assist owners in identifying man-made slopes that pose safety risks and require follow-up. The CEDD selects private slopes annually for safety screening studies based on a risk-based approach. If there are signs of significant damage or potential hazards, the Buildings Department will issue a dangerous hillside order, requiring private owners to conduct investigation and repair works. After a dangerous hillside order is issued, the Buildings Department will proactively arrange on-site inspections with the owners and their appointed professionals and explain the compliance requirements and procedures. For cases where no substantial progress has been made for a long time past the deadline, the Buildings Department will carry out default works while taking prosecution action. Second, they provide technical and financial support. The CEDD has published several publications related to slope maintenance, including the Layman's Guide to Slope Maintenance and Geo Guide 5 Guide to Slope Maintenance. Also, the CEDD and BD assisted the Property Management Services Authority in formulating a slope management work best practice guide for the industry. The BD's Building Safety Loan Scheme and the Urban Renewal Authority's Integrated Building Rehabilitation Assistance Scheme provide financial support to eligible owners for carrying out maintenance works. Third, they strengthen public awareness and education. The government will continue to enhance public awareness and education through various channels. For example, the BD has uploaded short videos on slope safety on its website and social media platforms. Different government departments will hold seminars and exhibitions to increase the awareness of owners corporations, and property management companies regarding slope safety management. Third part of the question. As mentioned regarding the risk management of private slopes, the Lands Department is responsible for identifying maintenance responsibilities. The CEDD selects private slopes for safety screening studies, and the Buildings Department is responsible for enforcement work regarding dangerous hillside orders. The working group that comprises the three above departments hold regular meetings at least twice a year to resolve complex cases and disputes. We will continue to, through this high-level working group, make sure that the slope management is done effectively. Ms. Michelle Tang. Thank you, President. As a part of the engineering sector, I think that the Development Bureau and the subordinate departments have been working to enhance slope safety in Hong Kong, and their efforts deserve our recognition. Just now, the Secretary said in her major reply that on risk management of man-made private slopes, the Lands Department, the Buildings Department, and the CEDD have their own roles to play, and that the high-level working group holds regular meetings at least twice a year to resolve complex cases and responsibility disputes. My question is, will the Secretary consider having the working group hold a meeting every quarter? If the works could not be completed on schedule, will the government consider engaging engineering consultants on the market to enhance the efficiency of dealing with dangerous hillside orders and implementing the relevant works? Secretary, currently, this high-level working group has to hold meetings at least twice a year, and that's the minimum number. Our requirement is that where necessary, they will have to hold meetings. Just now, the member asked whether they could hold more meetings. Well, this can definitely be done, but I believe what matters is that they have to see if there is a need to do so. The working group should hold meetings where necessary instead of having just 2 meetings a year. So instead of having 1 meeting every quarter, there might be more meetings every quarter. As for whether we will leverage private market forces, currently there are some government departments that help the working group carry out their work. For example, if they have to issue letters, which is a rather simple task, we outsource the services to other parties. Moving forward, we will continue to monitor the needs and demands. If necessary, we will leverage market forces. Ms. Christine Fong. Thank you, President. Owners often said it is hard for them to delineate maintenance responsibilities of private man-made slopes. Just now, the Secretary said that there are about 16,000 private man-made slopes, and there are over 6,000 man-made slopes with mixed responsibilities. There is the SMRS, Maintenance Information System. However, there are unregistered slopes as well as natural hillsides. There are slopes in the system that show that the proxy agents are not appropriate or suitable. According to the administration, it will provide more information this year. My question is, will the government enhance the interdepartmental platform to help owners delineate the maintenance responsibilities more clearly so as to reduce the potential hazards? And will the government streamline the subsidy disbursement process and reduce the administration fee by 20% for elderly people? Secretary. The purpose of the determination system is that government departments have to have this information, not to mention private owners of man-made slopes. Well, this system concerns mainly man-made slopes. And this is true. There are also natural hillsides, and we think that it is appropriate for housing estates nearby to conduct investigation works as well as maintenance and repairs. In future, would it be possible for us to include information of natural hillsides into the system? Well, we will look into this. However, I think what matters is, as I mentioned in my major reply, apart from simply including the information into the system, well, we should not expect owners to check the information regularly. We have to reach out to owners proactively and tell them the information. The Lands Department will, within this year, carry out such work. The member just now asked whether this interdepartmental platform could streamline the relevant works procedure. We will definitely do so. To give you an example, today we talk about private man-made slopes. Sometimes owners want to carry out maintenance and repair works, but adjacent to the man-made slopes there are government lands, and they may have to go through the government lands to enter these private man-made slopes. In the past, the procedure was rather complicated. All owners would have to agree, and the owner concerned will have to apply to the government for permission. Recently, we have simplified the relevant procedures. If you want to enter government lands for the purpose of maintaining or repairing private slopes, the process is simplified. Also, for other government departments that want to enter government land for this purpose, you will only have to get one-time permission. And this is only one example. We have been looking for room to further streamline or simplify the procedure. As for owners that fail to comply with the requirements and need the government to carry out the works for them instead, Well, we will have to ask owners to pay the surcharge. We cannot simply encourage people to use government services for free or pay the market rate. Well, will we exempt elderly people from paying the surcharge? Well, there are risks incurred. This is because elderly owners have their responsibilities as well. We will have to look at the cases on a case-by-case basis. Mr. Kisanyang, slope risks are not only personal or individual problems. In the past, I helped owners' corporations to deal with risks concerning slopes, such as the hillside behind Chokyun North. Whenever there is torrential rain, there might be landslides that would affect Longchon Road and cause serious floods. Earlier, I visited the above slopes with the Undersecretary, and the administration said they would combat illegal cultivation and that they would deploy drones for regular inspections. This is an effective method so that they could identify the problem immediately. While the administration said it would deploy drones, there could still be blind spots that could not be identified or detected by drones. Will the administration consider deploying robot dogs so as to make sure that any hazards could be detected? Secretary, I think a simple answer is yes. Robots have been widely made use of by our works departments. We make use of robots to, for example, inspect our drainage system. For hillsides or slopes where appropriate, we'll definitely deploy drones. Next, Mr. Jimmy Ng. There are many man-made slopes in Hong Kong because of the hilly terrain in Hong Kong. These slopes have to be managed by multiple departments, and sometimes because of unclear division of work, maintenance and repair works are affected and also causes slope safety issues. Will there be a mechanism to step up communication among the different government departments? Will there be a steering committee or supervisory committee to coordinate the efforts of various departments? Secretary, some man-made slopes are managed by private owners or governments, but the member's question seems to be that there is unclear division of work on the management of government's man-made slopes. Theoretically, that shouldn't be the case. This is because we have the determination system that shows clearly which government department is responsible for which man-made slope. In the past, occasionally there were cases where responsibilities were unclear. What matters is that we should not let this drag on. We have to identify the government departments responsible, and if annual inspection is required, then we have to do so. Just now I mentioned that there is a high-level interdepartmental working group that comprises 3 departments, and one of their duties is to determine the responsibilities. These 3 departments are under the Development Bureau. Our instruction for these 3 departments is that if the responsibilities could not be determined, then the case will have to be escalated to the Development Bureau, or even to myself if the case warrants it. So we will make use of the existing mechanism well. Ms. Judy Chen, President, I thank the Development Bureau and its subordinate departments. It has been providing financial support and subsidies to a lot of repair works. We're talking about slopes, and compared to fire services or fire safety as well as lift safety, slope repairs cost a lot more. The Secretary said owners have the responsibility to manage the private slopes as well. However, a lot of the owners have retired. Take the Central and Western District as an example. A lot of the residential developments encroach on hillsides. Same for Pok Fu Lam. And if owners have to meet the eligibility to get the subsidies, the threshold is very high. Will the Secretary consider lowering the threshold so that retired owners would benefit from the existing subsidy schemes? Secretary, we are willing to explore this. Recently, the CEDD, under the Landslip Prevention and Mitigation Program, selects private man-made slopes every year for safety screening studies to see if there are any potential hazards to the man-made slopes and decide what kind of mitigation measures will have to be implemented. If you look at the recent data, you can see that there are some mitigation measures required for private man-made slopes. And then we can, based on the information, decide what are the costs incurred. And then we can decide whether the current threshold of our subsidy schemes are appropriate. We have to see whether the subsidy offered by us can help ease the burden of owners. So we're based on the existing information to decide on the threshold. Mr. Aaron Bok. We have torrential rains recently. With climate change and global warming, we have typhoons every year, and there will be more frequent torrential rains. Last July and August, there were 5 black rainstorm warnings, and that could pose hazards to our slopes. The 618 landslides happened because there was a landslide at Poshan Trail and 67 people died. And in 2008, because of a torrential rain, a highway in Lantau was blocked for 7 hours, and about 10,000 people were affected as they were traveling to the airport. I want to know what measures have been put in place by the government given the extreme weather as well as global warming to reduce losses of people's property and lives. Secretary, there have been torrential rains and therefore landslides as well. I want to share some statistics with you. Over the past few years, the number of landslides have dropped significantly compared to the past. Same for fatalities. Over the past 16 years, there were landslides every year. There were only 2 years during which casualties were caused. Of course, we have to minimize any casualties, but we managed to lower the risk over the past decade. This is because about 10 years ago, we rolled out the Landslide Preventive Measures Program, and since then, every year, we have been selecting man-made slopes for upgrading works. We also have been selecting slopes for studies, and recent years, we have been focusing more on natural hillsides. During the rainy seasons of the past few years, we put in place an important measure, and one of the measures is to set up this smart database. We integrate the information we have over the past few years during rainy seasons so that we can project what will happen, and then we can be more prepared. We have already identified about 500 man-made slopes. Every time when there are torrential rains, there might be high risks to these 500 slopes. So what do we deal with them? Every time when rainy season comes, we review these 500 slopes. Apart from the annual inspections as well as the major inspections carried out every 5 years, before and after each rainy season every year, we check these 500 slopes that are of higher risks. Also, the CEDD has been making use of man-made satellites. That is, apart from deploying drones, we also make use of man-made satellites to help us monitor the slopes so that we can be more prepared. Of course, we have to strive for excellence and keep on improving. Thank you.